Module 5, Managing Your Meetings. Each of us has our own way of doing things. Our groups influence and inform us as well. The words, terminology, and the way we interact plays a big part in how our meetings proceed, for better or for worse. The following are a few key things to keep in mind. Some of them may be exactly how you and your group feels, some of them may not. Either way, try them out and see where it takes you, or what does and does not work for your group. Your role as convener is, above all else, to create and maintain a safe, supportive, and positive environment for folks to speak out about their own recovery journey. There are other aspects of your role, but this is the most vital. That safety is what will allow for people to give themselves permission to be vulnerable and to share openly and productively. In a safe space, conflict will not escalate beyond a boiling point. A safe group cultivates mutual support and can allow for differences of opinion to add to the group's strength rather than breed conflict. You have strengths and skills. Use them. In each of your meetings, you will walk the delicate line between someone who facilitates discussion and maintains safety and someone who interferes or places their own goals, interests, or bias above the group's needs. While LifeRing training has given you some tools and techniques to practice, it is also important to recognize your own abilities and personality that have driven you to become a convener. You have the potential and responsibility to be a huge resource for people in their own personal recovery journey. Safety. As mentioned before, the safety of the group is paramount. The group needs to be a comfortable and safe place for everyone, regardless of any other variables. This safety applies to everyone's mental, emotional, physical, sexual, and identity status. There is no place for sexism, racism, homophobia, politics, religion, or any other topic that might make even one person feel out of place or that they aren't welcome. It is your responsibility to not allow these things to linger. Deal with them immediately, respectfully, and with respect to the dignities of all involved. Trust is not bought or guaranteed. Trust is earned over a long period of time, after many actions, words, and the exchanging of ideas. The tentative and cautious nature of building trust requires a safe atmosphere, and people that mean what they say, apologize for mistakes, check in with each other, and share vulnerability. Each of us has been hurt in our lives, and for some of us, trusting others may seem dangerous, if not at least difficult. It will take time, and with each new person, the whole process begins again. But a successful group must trust each other. Each member of the group, as well as yourself, must function with a focus on respect. We may disagree with others, perhaps even think they are wrong in their thinking, but we can never force or coerce anyone, at least not with a good conscience, into something they do not want. Respect means carefully listening, engaging with best intentions, apologizing for mistakes or harm, forgiving others, understanding that emotions may flare, and seeing each person as valuable, unique, and worthwhile. Respect is about viewing others as complex individuals, doing the best they can at the time with what they have at their disposal. We are all in that same place. Collaboration. Each of us has a story to tell, and reasons for telling them. As we listen to the stories of others, we begin to edit, review, and change our own stories. When we collaborate and share our own narrative experiences, we are simultaneously teaching and learning. All members must be prepared to listen and speak, in equal turn and measure. Progression. A group must not spin its wheels. While some topics pop up over and over, the goal is to avoid hearing the same meeting each week. Keep things fresh, change things up, shake up the topics, and keep people thinking in new ways. If a group feels like they are moving forward, they will speak and learn at a much greater rate. Speak from within, about oneself. This means using I statements in all of your sharing and when offering feedback. When expressing feelings or views, say things like I think or I feel that. This allows you to express yourself without crossing boundaries or destroying someone else's perspective. And share with best intentions. Explain that each of us feels like the hero of our own stories, and that we should expect to share and be heard with our best intent. In essence, we don't often mean to hurt someone, but conflict comes out of misunderstanding and assumptions. Listen, repeat, offer feedback. Simply, anytime someone speaks out about something, respond first by clarifying that you've gotten the point of the issue. You can do this by saying, I think I heard you say X, Y, and Z, and that you feel A, B, and C because of that. The person will then either agree or clarify what they meant. When you are on the same page, then you can offer feedback if they ask for it. When offering feedback, as one of our conveners brilliantly stated, avoid shoulding all over others. That means, don't say things like, well, you should just do this, or what you should be feeling is that. This is the other side of the I statement rule. Offer what has worked for you, expand the story, but stay away from coercive or bullying statements. Remember that everyone's recovery journey belongs to them alone. Take your time, speak slowly, clearly, and clarify anything that you say if people have questions. This may seem obvious, but remember that everyone is at a different place mentally and emotionally. Sometimes the best idea is to try and gauge your group's energy level, and then work within that. Deal with issues as they come up. Do not let issues or conflicts fester. When an interpersonal issue arises, speak with both people or all people involved. Simply speaking to the offending member during or after the meeting does nothing to comfort the target of the conflict. Keep dignity intact for all parties and allow for the space to apologize or to process. Relax. Take it easy. Nothing tenses up a room faster than the one person who is trained and supposed to be convening the group freaking out. Take things in stride. Be easy on yourself. And try to see the humor of the situations. In the end, a relaxed convener does a great deal in relaxing the members and creating a safe atmosphere that is so important. Dealing with rudeness, disrespect, and personal attacks. You are expected and required to gently intervene if anyone is rude, disrespectful, or attacking another member or another person, regardless if the target is present or not. Remarks about sexuality, ethnicity, background, socioeconomic status, relationships, recovery history, religion, political affiliation, and appearance are strictly forbidden. While the nature and effect of such remarks varies, the response of the convener must not. Interrupt. Focus on the fact that this kind of behavior is not allowed. Ask for the behavior to stop, give an opportunity to apologize, and then, most importantly, check in with the target of the behavior during or after the meeting. Interruptions, or people demanding too much focus. You are expected and required to gently intervene if anyone interrupts someone else, or is taking too much of the group's time. Frame your intervention as appreciating that the person has something to say, but asking them to wait for the other person to finish. You can let people know you really appreciate the input someone is giving, but ask them to give everyone else a chance to speak. Immediately elicit the help of another group member to shift the conversation. Intoxication. You are expected and required to intervene if someone appears or behaves in a manner that is clearly intoxication. Let them know they are welcome to stay and listen, but are required to not speak out of respect for everyone else. If the person is violent or belligerent, you may need to ask them to leave and maintain the safety of the group. Politics and religion. You are expected and required to gently intervene in the case of a political or religious discussion. There is no room or purpose for these discussions in a LifeRing meeting. Feel it out first. You don't need to jump on it right away. Breaches of confidentiality. You are expected and required to intervene if someone breaks confidentiality. LifeRing takes confidentiality extremely seriously. Talking negatively of other programs. You are expected and required to gently intervene if someone demeans another recovery program. LifeRing does not devalue other pathways to recovery. nor does LifeRing tolerate an atmosphere where people who may utilize multiple pathways to recovery might feel uncomfortable. Whatever works for people is what is important. Feel it out first. You don't need to jump on it right away. Meetings are the foundation of LifeRing Canada and are the core purpose of our organization, providing peer-to-peer connection and support. At a LifeRing meeting, all attendees can count on having a familiar and welcoming experience in small group format and run by a trained peer-to-peer facilitator. At a LifeRing meeting, we talk about the here and now to prepare for tomorrow. Our focus is on sharing weekly recovery successes and challenges that will help us plan to manage the week ahead. Discussions often include constructive questions, comments, and feedback from all participants in any form. Conversation provides a forum for open sharing with those who have similar day-to-day circumstances. Learning about techniques that are based on research and personal practice make LifeRing meetings a unique and rewarding recovery choice. Together, the people who belong to a LifeRing group gain strength and ideas to make positive choices. You are a vital part of that picture. You may not be the focus or even the center of your group, but without you, LifeRing meetings would not be as powerful and helpful as they are. Through your creation of a safe space, your valuing of everyone's experience, your guidance in what is acceptable or not, and in your persistence and determination, you ground meetings in reality. Do not ever think for a moment that you do not play a vital role in many people's or even your own recovery. The service and care you provide goes a long way to enriching and bettering the lives of others. Reflect on your own strengths and the strengths of your group. In time, when you look back at these moments of uncertainty and doubt, you will find a small spark, an unknown, that pushed you to do this for yourself, for others, and for a reason. Whatever your reason for being here, however you connect with people at your meetings, and whatever your background, you will look back at this moment and realize this is when you decided to do something meaningful. During the hustle of our days and in the chaos of our lives, we often forget to sit back and look upon our work. Congratulations! You have already completed a huge step in becoming trained and committing to start a new LifeRing meeting. Your impact and guidance, while at this moment, perhaps in the future, will make a huge difference for many people, including you. Remember that you and others like you are changing the way the world and its people view addiction and recovery. Keep in mind that without people like you, others would not have the opportunity to share, be heard, and to listen to others. Your training will be ongoing, and you will learn from mistakes, from others, from your group, and from experience. What matters now is that you go out there and begin. Success in this world is so heavily defined and manicured into out society that we often forget to mark the stages of personal change. You are already successful. You have completed your training. You have worked with or through addiction and recovery. Think of this as a moment when you looked at who you were as a person and discovered you as skills, thoughts, ideas, and feelings you could share with others. Always remember the value of yourself.